We're live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Jim Valley, King of Recovery, 6-0 against death. Back because of the fans. Now look, it may sound stupid. Sounds stupid to me, but I have literally struggled with today's show. I know, it's a wrestling show. Who cares? It's like struggling playing words with friends. What's the big deal? But, after reading the articles about Janel Grant, she came out and spoke publicly on Thursday. After reading those articles, seemed like she recapped a lot of her experiences, which are very important. I take nothing away from that. But for a show, a news show, a wrestling news show, it's got to be new. We've recapped a lot of Ms. Grant's trauma and things that have happened to her in the past. So I prepared a show today talking about Smackdown and WrestleMania, House of Glory, Prestige, all that stuff. Then I listened to what Janel Grant said on Thursday. I was stunned, literally stunned. I can't believe how much people missed. And I'm not being hyperbolic. There are some major things that she brought up that should be top stories, but for whatever reason, they're not. So I need to talk about this because, well, to be honest, it confirms a lot of my suspicions. It confirms a lot of things that I thought she was going through and even more. So we have to do that. We'll cover a few other pieces of business, and then we'll get to the other stuff. But this show has been reshuffled at the last minute. We are launching. I'm not 100% sure where we're going to land. We'll find out. Stick around, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer.
Oh, clear.
There we go. All right. Jesus. Oh my gosh. All right. All right. What am I doing? I don't know. Let's see here. Hang on. Anyway. Oops. There it is. All right. There we go. I don't understand what this is. Oh, well. Whatever. All right. How much time we got?
2:15.
Okay. Oh, heavens. There it is. Okay, fantastic. All right. Can you guys chat? I haven't seen anybody in the chat. I just want to make sure it's working. You don't have to. Just want to make sure it works. Oh. Okay, great. Thank you. So they're running in Arizona? Your Juggalo wrestling is in Arizona? I don't think I knew that. Or New Mexico? Where is it? Something like that. I don't think I knew that. It's fascinating reading all the stuff from Juggalo Championship Wrestling because you got the Vince Russo booking. And then you got, all these crazy names and crazy matches. And it's very funny. Just makes me laugh. Yeah, I'm a little hoarse today, but we'll be okay. Usually I'm a jackass. Oh, goodness. Anyway.
1 minute.
Oh,
Yeah, what do you think? What's your thoughts on Russo?
it's another time.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He had one trick and just keeps repeating it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how to get one of these jobs. where you're incompetent. You do the same thing over and over again. I want to get one of those jobs, but I never can. I don't know why. I can be incompetent. Just like
do the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I will say this. The Wyatts fighting with the MFTs over that lantern. If Russo was involved, that thing would have already been on a pole, and we'd be done with it.
That's true.
So,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hey.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Janel. It's Wrestling Observer Live. And, we're here. Before we get into everything, I want to say, I've said, I don't know how many times, that I have met some of the best people through my fandom and association with wrestling. And I mean that. But I need to mention the passing of a good friend of mine, Brett Wolverton. Brett, as you probably know, passed away this past week, at the age of 44. He's been a ring announcer all over the Mid-Atlantic for years and years and years. He wins like ring announcer of the year like 15 times or something like that. And I first met Brett in 2016 at the Charlotte Fan Fest. Brett was good friends with one of my friends, Bob Keller, his wife Carrie, also John Schuyler, who's on TNA, Zuka King, another wrestler, Dan H. Tan, and others in part of the Mid-Atlantic, the whole Virginia, Carolinas wrestling scene. And, and since FanFest, we've been great friends. Been to Bob's wedding, saw Brett, Cauliflower Alley, see Brett in Las Vegas. And again, Brett was the ring announcer, always professional, yet approachable, didn't take himself too seriously, great sense of humor, invariably kind and sweet, big teddy bear, polite, and he was so good as a cook and a baker. His nickname was Bretty Crocker. And a lot of times for wrestling, at the gimmick tables, he would bring something that he baked. And the gimmick tables would make the most money thanks to Brett and his food. So everyone's going to miss Brett. I've loved all the coverage I've seen. And so everybody, we're going to miss you, buddy. Also, I want to mention another friend of mine. Tonight at the Rack in Port Orchard, Washington, there's a memorial show for another friend we lost in December, Ken Hamlin. And if you've been a fan going back to the 70s, at least if you've seen a picture of wrestling from the Northwest, especially if it's in the 70s and 80s, it's probably Ken Hamlin who took that picture. Like there's famous ones with Rip Oliver and Bruiser Brody, Ric Flair at a junior high school gymnasium gets shared by, 70 Sports, that guy on Twitter, and Super 70 Sports. That's actually my old junior high. I was there for that match. But sadly, Ken passed away of liver disease in December. So memorial show, I plan on being there tonight. Rack, Port Orchard, doors open at 6, bell time at 7, tickets $20. So, I do want to mention real quick the end of Prestige last night in Portland. They're wrapping things up just because it's just a hassle. They did have quite a card. Judas Icarus defeated Kevin Blackwood in his retirement match to win the Prestige Championship. Hammer Bros beat Midnight Heat, win the tag team titles. Johnny Robbie beat Amira to win the West Coast Women's Pro Championship. Ryan Clancy won a Roseland Rumble by eliminating Alan Angels. And Minoru Suzuki, yes, Minoru Suzuki, Murder Grandpa. He beat Matt Brannigan, who is a really talented, really, really creative, and can be very funny as a chicken heel. Oh my God, he's so good. So good. Also, House of Glory last night. No turning back. New York City, loud F-Ice chants. And MJF, who was in the ring, they were chanting, even found the camera and gave it the same look like when he was in the ring with Brody King and the chants first broke out. What a pro. Anyway, MJF successfully defended AEW World Championship. He pinned Zilla Fatu. thanks to some outside interference. Collisions live tonight. Thunder Rosa returns to face Julia Hart. Jet Set Rodeo. Hangman Page, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight defend their trios titles for the first time against The Demand, Ricochet, and Gates of Agony. And then Claudio Castagnoli defends his CMLL World Heavyweight Championship against Josh Alexander. That not a ton of matches, but I hope that means they get time to wrestle. AAA tonight, Latin American Championship. Dr. Wagner, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. faces Bel Segor. Cruiserweight Championship, Laredo Kid versus DJ Perkins. Come on, what more do you need? And then Mega Championship contract signing. Dude wipes Dom Mysterio takes on, or signs. See what happens with El Hijo de Vikingo. In Mexico, would Dude Wipes be Tabalitas Humedas de Hombres? I'm not sure. Amazing that last night in Arena Mexico sold out again, even with Fantastica Mania. And real quick, if we have time, we'll get more into SmackDown. But I do want to mention that the pairing of Kiana James with Julia has really, really helped the career of Kiana James. In a three-way elimination qualifier, Kiana James pinned Charlotte Flair, who had Nia in the figure eight, and she rolled her over like a crucifix cradle, got the pin. And Trick Williams, now in the men's qualifier chamber match. He pinned Damian Priest, who's going for the Razor's Edge on Carmelo Hayes when Trick Williams connected with a running knee, followed that up with a trick shot for the win. So those are the big things that really came out, but we can maybe talk about some other things that happened if we get time to go into depth. But I do want to mention next week's SmackDown women's tag team titles. Rhea and Io defend against Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Jordan Grace versus Candice LeRae. Obafemi versus The Miz. Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa. You know, I can see them fighting over a Blackstone grill, but this lantern's getting old. I mentioned during the break that if Vince Russo was booking, they would have already put that damn lantern up on a pole. Would have been done with it. So there you go. So Thursday in Connecticut, Janel Grant, you know who she is, allegedly a victim of Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, other people allegedly in WWE. You know all about it. So she made a public appearance at an event to the Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, talking about problems with some NDAs. And the first thing she said when she came up was, I really shouldn't be here. Talked about how in the beginning, when everything first became public, tried to commit suicide, tried to hang herself in a closet. As I was listening to this, and I would encourage you to do this, there were a lot of things that seemed to get by people in the wrestling media, and who knows, maybe I don't know. But here's Janel Grant. Listen to this.
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
Did you hear that? Let me play that again.
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
That is the level of threat. Not perceived threat. Not fear, not something that's, in her head. The level of threat. She mentions feeling unsafe. And then she says, that's the level of power Power is something you use. It's not power, you don't use it. Level of threat. Level of power. One more time.
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
A lot of people who haven't read the complaint, who just read it, Dave tweeted out that everyone should listen to that audio. And there were so many just edgelords in it for the money. Why didn't she get away? Why did that? It's like they have no idea because they haven't read anything. They don't know anything. But, they know that she's, money grubber. Or, she wanted it. She only didn't like it when the money ran out. We'll get into that later. Level of threat. I hear she was threatened. I hear level of power that it's been exerted on her. Talk about it next. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
All ends with beginnings.
There we go. It's true. Yeah, you're right. It's true. Yeah. It's true. You're right. You were right. I don't control the music, and he probably, it probably just came up by coincidence. So, but anyway, but you're right.
Yeah, my bad. I just put up yeah.
It's okay. You're fired.
Nah, it's okay.
You know what? Go home early and think about what you've done.
I will.
That's what I think. Oh my gosh. Okay, is he wearing that shit? Oh, he is. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Cody, I was like, what is he wearing? He's wearing like nautical stuff, like a jacket you wear boating. And he's, I guess he's got a new line of gear that you can buy. Captain Cody Rhodes.
Captain Raheem.
I don't even. What? I know. No, you're fine. You're not wrong. I know you're not making a big deal about it, but you're not wrong. But it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It's fine. Live and learn. Live and learn. Live and learn. Oh goodness, are we still? Oh my gosh, are we? Yeah, okay, we're okay. I think. Shit. Hang on. How are we doing? Did I screw up? Maybe I did. Hang on. Is everyone hear me? Okay. No, everything's fine. Okay. Whew, I was worried. All right. There we go.
All right, 1 minute.
All right. Yeah, she is courageous. You're right. Very courageous.
Here we go.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Do that. Wrestling Observer Live. Someone in the chat says Janel Grant, so courageous. And you're exactly right. Not only for what she's been through, but I mean, so many people just know her probably as the woman, who Vince, crapped on her head. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that's not embarrassing. Anyway, so this is the quote from Thursday. And look, I am not accusing anyone of anything. But what I'm saying is, my interpretation of what she's saying, the word she's using, it says to me, she's been threatened and had to deal with their power. And she does talk about that, dealing with legal machinations later. But, I mean, she's not saying, she says, level of feeling unsafe. Now, you can feel unsafe and still be safe. But I'm not saying that's the case here, but I'm saying. She says that is the level of threat, where apparently, it says to me, she dealt with threats, and that made her stay inside and only went outside 10 times because of the threats and the power that she's dealt with. Here, listen, see if I'm wrong.
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
I mean, look, again, not accusing anyone of anything, but generally speaking, billionaires have a lot of power, have a lot of resources, generally speaking. She also talked about coercive control. I had to look it up. It's what I thought it was. Coercive control is when someone uses patterns of abusive behavior against another person. Over time, creates fear, takes away the person's freedom and independence. Sound familiar? Also, one of the behaviors can be isolating you from family and friends. Listen to this.
I might be leaving here the same way I arrived, which is deeply struggling, financially devastated, no family, isolated.
Isolated. Later she says small and isolated. Oh, by the way, what type of personality tends to use coercive control? Want to guess? If you said pathological narcissism, you're right. Just talking. I don't know what that means. So what about the NDA, non-disclosure agreement? So what I believe she's saying is that when she signed the NDA, she didn't realize how many suits she'd be hit with. 6 of them. Federal criminal by the DOJ, Department of Justice, SEC, Securities Administration Commission. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so they did something with criminal penalty. Shareholder derivative suit, Second Circuit suit, and then Grant's civil lawsuit. And she said this has really limited her as far as what she can and can do dealing with these suits.
There are, just as an example, 5, we'll call them intersections, lanes of traffic associated with this NDA. You have a federal criminal investigation by the DOJ. You have an SEC investigation with criminal penalties. You have a shareholder derivative suit with a trial scheduled for June. You have a Second Circuit decision about the crime fraud exception that resulted in a loss of attorney-client privilege, and my civil suit. My God, that's one big pileup. So this NDA was a tool that Vince could use to justify anything while I remained in a system of exploitation and actually in a position for anyone to exploit me.
Now, a lot of people seem to forget the WWE allegedly did an investigation. You know who was never interviewed during the WWE's investigation? Janel Grant. But that's not all. I think you remember there was a letter WWE put out that said it was a consensual relationship.
The company reached out and requested that I make a joint statement that this was a consensual relationship and that they wanted to know this to the extent that I needed or wanted something, aka more money on the table. I refused. And then in the second Wall Street Journal story in July, the company spokesperson said it for me, that it was consensual. So someone, a group maybe, behind my back, without my knowledge, without my input, made that decision for me. It's consensual, we say so, and surprised that decision on me via the company spokesperson in the Wall Street Journal. So leaving out one half of an experiencing party on a decision like that is not consent.
Now, I do want to be clear. You know, there are nice people, I'm sure, that work at WWE. There are nice people that wrestle every week on your television. So I don't want to paint with a broad brush. We're talking about individuals who are involved, not everyone. So I want to make that clear. But she's talking about she's small, isolated, you know, they're doing, you know, all of these things. You know, she wouldn't give them consent and they just, you know, did it anyway. You also may remember there's a love letter that Grant allegedly wrote to Vince, and she was really, really smart about it. As far as she was like, oh, you wanted a letter? You know, this is the letter, da 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 da. And what people also forget is Vince made her rewrite it 24 times. He was looking for something. He knew what he was doing. So this is what she had to say about the love letter.
During this federal investigation, a love letter was purportedly found on a corporate laptop and published in the New York Post. The article also rewrote my life. Again, this was a public humiliation and an intimidation of a person who gets letters from the FBI that say victim, and it's also witness intimidation, discouraging others from speaking out, speaking to, or even associating with me for fear of their own well-being and their families.
She'll mention that again later on. But, you know, people always talk about Janel Grant. What about her behavior? And they never mention her. It seems to be forgotten. She's not the only NDA. There was like 7 or 8 that we know of. One for like, what, $8 million? You know, this is a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior. And every time people want to point the finger at Janel Grant, they don't recognize the pattern of behavior by Vince McMahon. It's been said that you go to Vince's office or his home and he's got a lot of psychology books. I'm not sure I'm surprised. Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. But it's like, look, you know, the whole thing apparently. Vince is like, oh, Linda found out. She's going to divorce me. Da 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 da. Really? Linda used to work in the office. Linda ran it. You don't think she knows? They've been married, what, 50-some years? Come on. So this is the one. This is the straw that broke Linda's back. Janel Grant. Talk about I think that's crap. I'll say worse words, but oh, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer.
All clear.
Thank you. Yep. Exactly. NDAs that protect predators. Are what NDA is about. Captain Rhodes. Oh my gosh, that's. I don't know about that. I don't know. Anyway, oh, goodness, I play. Okay, I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, we're fine. Captain Rhodes. Yeah. All right. No kidding. Yeah. It's like Captain Mike Rotundo. Exactly. There it is. Great minds. Great minds. I don't know. I'm guessing Cody must be called the captain. Probably like quarterback, like you're the captain of the team or something. He does need a Norman the Lunatic. Maybe is that Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn is Norman the Lunatic. I don't know. He looks like a Sperry catalog. Looks like the spring collection at Brooks Brothers. You head out to the Cape. Anyway, goodness gracious. All right. Raheem, the African Dream. Yeah, he's got a lot of nicknames, doesn't he? Anyway, I don't know.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live. A lot of people reporting about Janel Grant's comments, but I feel like a lot of people missed some very key points that kind of slid right by. They stuck out to me. I've been dwelling on it basically for a while, but you may remember that he talked about the love letter. But this, she's talking, when she first came up, she was trying to laugh because she's very nervous, very uncomfortable, very brave to do this, very brave. I mean, God, regardless of all the terrible things, to go through that and then, oh yeah, it's a woman who Vince crapped on her head. How embarrassing. It's not her fault, but But as she went on, she became obviously more emotional.
Does it look like we work in a safe environment when the destination point, if you're hurt, is weaponized use of your experience on live TV every Monday night for months? By their actions and by their reactions, this is a lot more about current leadership than it says about me. So How do we make change in the world? By showing up in it, especially when it's a tough conversation. To the board of TKO, if you didn't know this part of your origin story, now you know. I hope you will have conversations with us. I will hope you have conversations amongst yourselves, and I hope that you don't rely on old instincts with new insight.
Yeah. So if you don't know what she's talking about, was it a year ago or so? Judgment Day. They were doing a story with Dom and Liv, and pictures being texted. And obviously that's it's a message. Someone in the chat goes, gotta say, I think it's crazy about the stories, how Janel Grant saying it's reflected, on Raw. And he wonders what other hidden things are reflected storylines in the past. I mean, they've done that. Right to censor. IRS, because Vince was pissed that his tax bill. No, a lot of things reflect and have reflected things. That's not new. So that's why when it's like, you have all these new fans, and God bless them. Yeah, Hawk and his alcoholism. Look, God bless the new fans, lifeblood of the industry. Keep watching, but also understand it. Have the context. So you understand what you're watching and, what you're supporting. And I'm not telling you not to support it. I'm just saying, understand what this is about. And that's definitely what that was about. And she talks about there are people here in Connecticut who are afraid. There are people at a headquarters in Stamford, she says, that are afraid. And that's the thing. I'm sure, like I said, as I mentioned, there are good people, probably. I'm sure there are, that work in WWE. Regular people, nice people. And, this is about power and money and protecting what you have. I mean, come on. She's one woman in her 40s, I believe. We had an island of kids, and I, just, and it is a pattern of behavior. And let's not forget Ashley Massaro. We're trying to refute Vince, all of his passes that he made at her. And what'd she get for it? They made her cry on camera, humiliated her. Then she was raped in Qatar. And they left her behind in Qatar. She's not Kevin McAllister. Those weren't the wet bandits. There's a pattern of behavior. Someone says, crazy how WWE cover-ups reflects modern government. Well, right. Who knows? If it's coincidence or, Vince and Trump were friends. I don't know if they still are, but they were, obviously. I guess the last term for Trump, Vince was one of the couple of people that Trump would pick up the phone for. So, I don't know. It's just, and like I said, I'm sure there are wrestlers probably are uncomfortable with everything. I'm sure there are wrestlers who knew nothing. And I'm sure there are people who were very close to Vince. So, I don't know. We shall see. But look, even though Vince is gone, allegedly, John Laurinaitis, someone booked John Laurinaitis for a fan fest. Why would you? What would you? Why? I don't even want to. I don't even want to think about it. But he's doing fan fest. He's doing a fan fest. But I mean, even now, she says, there are people in WWE who will not talk to her, will not acknowledge her, because they can't. Because they know that that's going to be bad for them. But again, I want to go back to that first clip.
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
Level of threat. Level of power. You know, we're talking about current administration. Back when he was still a candidate, a million scandals ago. Remember Stormy Daniels? According to her, and maybe this is not true. According to her, she was in a parking garage. I think it was in Las Vegas with her young child at the time. Someone came up and said, "Leave Trump alone, drop it. You know, it's going to be problems." And then they mentioned, the person mentioned her child. Shame if anything happened. Now, look, maybe that guy's just a fan. Maybe the guy had nothing to do with anything. Maybe it's made up. I don't even know why I brought that up. Why would I bring that? I don't know. Why would I bring that up?
So for years, I have watched my life play out outside of a window, and I am serious when I tell you I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. That is the level of feeling unsafe. That is the level of power that I am on the other side of.
I mean, she didn't correct herself. But I mean, we're talking about covert investigation of human trafficking, a public humiliation and intimidation, at least 3 grand jury subpoenas. Plus, like you said, she spent $100,000 last year trying to comply with everything. Vince knows all the tricks. Jerry McDivitt knew and still knows all the tricks. The new guy, whatever, he knows all the tricks. That's the thing that, a lot of billionaires don't pay bills because they know that they can, in a war of attrition, they can outspend you. And look, while Miss Grant, in a time of financial uncertainty, when she was introduced to Vince, late parents live in the same building. She was probably doing okay. And she probably knows nothing about wrestling and everything. Vince offered her family. Vince offered her a future. She wanted to be a vice president. She was promised a vice president title, and they kept moving it back and moving it back and moving it back. That's why she stayed. And every time she wanted that to put on a resume so she could get out of there, every time it was, no, here's 20 more grand or whatever. Now I got to push it back. You're getting some heat on you. You can't do it right now. That's why she stayed. Because she wanted that vice presidency so she could take it and go somewhere else. But it never came. And Vince knows what she wants. She knew. He knew. He knew what he was doing. Vince knows all the games. How many wrestlers have you heard say, You're mad. You're upset at TV. Went into Vince's office, came out, and now you're doing the same thing, but you're happy about it. You know, Vince knows what's up. You know, she'd lost her family. She was a target. She was vulnerable. Vince knows that. I'm sure that's one of the key reasons why he chose her. I have a hard time believing that this woman was the one that broke Linda's back. This was too much. 50 years of infidelity. Go read Playboy. And this one, oh no, we've crossed the line. We've crossed the line. Fool me once. Shame on me, or shame on you. Fool me 5,000 times. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, this is just these people. You go to X if you have it, and look, Dave Meltzer posted the video where she's talking, the video of some of the audio we heard. I encourage you to go see it and listen to it. But you would not believe, like I said, the edgelords talking about everything. We have no idea what they're talking about. So, anyway, whatevs. All right, let's touch on Smackdown real quick, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if anything will come out of this. I mean, probably nothing. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, even if every network ran a story, not as if anybody ever interferes if they don't like stories. All right. Anyway, stand by, Jim Valley. Wrestling Observer. Yep. I believe anyway. I know. Not kidding. Yeah. Oh heavens. Oh, well. Oh, yeah.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
A couple of things hit us on SmackDown. Main event, Aleister Black defeated Randy Orton. When Drew McIntyre interfered, Cody came out. But Randy Orton, even though he took the pin, he really dominated the match. I mean, Aleister Black looked small and tired and nothing. I mean, Randy Orton sucked all of Aleister Black's aura, like Ursula sucking the voice out of the Little Mermaid. It's they look like two different leagues. Sorry. And Cody Rhodes, what? He's got a new line of clothing, Captain Rhodes. Captain. It's like he's wearing like a boating jacket. He looks like Captain Mike Rotundo. He does. It's like, what? I don't know. I'm guessing because he's the quarterback and people call him captain behind the scenes, so he thinks that's a good idea. Well, I don't know. It's not worse than the neck tattoo, I guess. But I mean, he doesn't look like the American Nightmare. He looks more like the Brooks Brothers Nightmare. It's like a Sperry model. I don't understand why. It's like, are you advertising for Old Spice? Put you on a box of fish sticks? What are we doing? Why are you dressed like you're spending spring on the Cape? Gotta go out to Cape Cod and I don't know. Someone asked if he's Captain Mike Rotundo, who would Cody's Mike or Norman the Lunatic be? Like, probably Sami Zayn? Maybe? Anyway. All right, I don't think I'm here next week. I'm going on the 80s cruise. You know, those 80s bands and all that stuff. So I'll go to you in like a couple of weeks. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. All right, brother. Thank you. All right.
So you're gone next week, you said?
Yeah, I'm gone. I'm
Okay.
gone. Let me hang on. All right, stay right there. Hang on. I am. Where am I? I'm going to say 2 weeks because we're back. I'll let you know. We come back on the 6th, so we'll see how I feel if I can do it on the 7th or not. So we'll see.
Okay, just keep me posted. Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye. Oh my God, that's a great line. That's a fantastic line. Tiger Maker. Oh my gosh. Former Emma is in WWE. She could play Tennille. Nice. It's an old joke, but I love it. Love it. That's really good. Yes, 80s cruise. Probably, they have a Goonies bar, I think is what they do. They do a really great job. The company that puts it on, it's like summer camp. I mean, you can see, without even trying, 20 concerts. Without even trying. And if you want to put some effort in, get a lot less sleep, because there's late night stuff and there's jams and different things like that. So, I mean, there's a lot. And I mean, it's not a cheap ticket to go, but considering the prices of concerts and, you get a lot of access to people and things and they have Q&As and okay. I mean, it's great. It's exhausting, but it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, no, there's no excuse for this not to be more public, but I mean, look, I think that, in my opinion, I think she said she's been threatened, or at least intimidated, or whatever. I mean, they know where she lives. They know a lot. So, oh gosh, who's playing on these? I do this every time. I have to look it up. Oh goodness, there it is. Okay. So this year's 80s cruise is Bret Michaels. I think he's the big headliner. Nile Rodgers and Chic. And I mean, I think Nile Rodgers' 70s stuff is better, but I don't care. OMD, Billy Ocean, Gary Newman. You know, his wife has been sick, so I haven't heard, but he's still scheduled for us, I know. Berlin, Los Lobos, Taylor Dane, Sugar Hill Gang, Quiet Riot, which I think has 0 original members. Glass Tiger, Donnie Iris, got that guy's put on so many hits. Daz Band, Heaven 17, Men Without Hats, who are hilarious. Aldo Nova, Digital Underground, Humpy Hump is dead, so but whatever. Cool Mo D, so there it is. Billy Ocean, actually, he's going to sing at Rock at the Dock. So we pull into Nassau, and they've got a little amphitheater there. And Billy Ocean and Nile Rodgers are going to play there. I guess this company's been trying to get Nile Rodgers forever, and he doesn't want to get on a ship. So this is the compromise, that he'll play at the amphitheater in Nassau while we're docked in Nassau. So that is what's going to happen there, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, these shows, these things are a lot of fun. If you like the 80s stuff, then you'll have a great time. They did the past 2 years a 90s cruise, and I wanted to go. We never did. But I guess it wasn't popular enough to make it happen anymore. So they're going to go back and go back to the drawing board and see what they can come up with. But I would love to go on the 90s cruise, because, I mean, I went to high school in the 80s, and, you know, I played music as a DJ and stuff. So it's like, I'm fine, but it's a little burned out on the 80s stuff, a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, it's what's fun. Yeah, Nile Rodgers should be excellent. What's fun is you'll go see somebody, like you go see somebody and go, oh, this is going to be good. And it's not. And then you go see someone, oh yeah, I kind of know them, maybe, sort of. And it's like, they kill. What you call it? Night Ranger. I just thought they were just kind of a band. I didn't realize. They came out, they were so entertaining. So entertaining. It was so fun. Debbie Gibson. I will not have anyone besmirch Debbie Gibson. My God, she's the hardest working woman in show business. She came out, she's got choreography, she's playing the piano, she's over here, over there. She's doing it, she's working so fast. She's working so, she doesn't have to do that. She just come out and sing her damn songs and leave, like a lot of them do. My God, she's a hard-working woman. I was like, I will never badmouth Debbie Gibson. So, year before, because I didn't go last year. Year before, who was it? Wang Chung. It's like, I didn't realize with Wang Chung, like their hits sound nothing like the rest of their catalog. And I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. So, but also sometimes what happens is you forget, like someone had a hit you forgot about. Oh yeah, right, I forgot. So that's pretty fun. One time, we saw John Cafferty. He was on there, you know, on the dark side. And that guy's like 80. And maybe not the fastest, but you put that guy on a stage, put a guitar in his hand, he freaking just rocks. Oh my God, he killed. And then it's like, he plays his hit, The Dark Side, like third in his set. And I'm like, how the hell you do that? But then he just played like surf music and bar music and all these other songs. It was a great freaking show. What was really funny is we saw Johnny Hates Jazz, their new wave band from England, and they had a song Shattered Dreams, which was a hit in the US. And the lead singer was like, oh, hey, who's here from England? People clap or raise their hand. Oh yeah, we had a bunch of hits in England. Who's here from wherever? Canada? Oh yeah, we had some hits Canada. And who's here from the States? Most everybody. And he goes, yeah, we had one hit in the United States. It's like he's mad at us. Hey, John, is he? And then he goes, now look, we know why you're here. You know why you're here. You want to hear that one song. But look, for the next 45 minutes to an hour, we've got to pretend, and you've got to pretend, that we're all not here for that one song, meaning the hit Shattered Dreams. And then he would introduce songs. Oh yeah, this was a big hit in England, but nowhere else. It was just like, thanks, America. It was so hilarious. Then he goes, okay, we're about halfway through. We're on the downward slope to that one song. And of course, he never mentions it. But he just kept doing that as far as, oh yeah, it's a big hit here and here and here, but not in America. And it was, God, he was funny. So funny. Yeah, Dance All Day is a great song. And they do Q&As too, which is fun. So you hear some wild stories and stuff like Ray Parker Jr. was talking about Stevie Wonder getting into fights. That's funny. So here's some wild stories and things like that. So yeah. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's adult summer camp. They have theme nights. You dress up. They have prom night. They have 1 year for a pop icon night. I went as Roddy Piper. I think this year I'm gonna go as the Big Boss Man. And yeah. So I mean, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So and you gotta do it now because they're not young. So you gotta get on that. But no, I mean, you'd be surprised. There's some really, really good performers that you're like Escape Club, Wild Wild West, and they get their drummer died like a week before and they still came. Which I'm like, is that professionalism or is that I need the money? Anyway, they killed. I was like, they should have been much bigger. I was amazed. So Martin Fry, the first one we did, Martin Fry, lead singer of ABC, was there. That guy looks like $1 million. Oh my gosh. He's like Roger Moore, James Bond. It's like he's all put together, the hair, English, and he sounds fantastic. I was like, I had a little man crush. On Martin Fry. Oh, Martin Fry. Why can't I be like you? And then it was kind of funny. I think at his Q&A, a whole group of people, like 11, 12 people who were on the ship together. They all dressed up like characters from the first ABC video, the Be Near Me. It's like Martin Fry's wearing like the candy striped suit and stuff. So they had everybody dressed up in a character from the video. Very impressive. It's pretty cool. So yeah, people do stuff like that all the time. Some very, very creative people. And of course, we were on there when the wife of Tie Me Down from Faster Pussycat jumped off their balcony. So that was very sad. That was too bad. Yeah. Gotta get some eyeliner. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But it's funny. I mean, it's just fun. As far as, you hang out and, like I said, there's some good acts. And there's, Sebastian Bach, 1 year. Guy's hilarious. Very funny. He went on stage and sang with Air Supply, which was fun. He was singing that during his concert. And I mean, that's the thing too. It's like with the, legacy acts, they're on Wang Chung performs with Animotion or another new wave thing, right? You don't see Animotion and Sebastian Bach together on a Rat and Sebastian Bach. Oh, well, you wouldn't say that, but I mean, you don't see, it's always packaged by the same genre. So it gives people, a chance to hang out and who they don't get to see all the time. Because, I mean, oh yeah, going to another casino. Oh yeah, there's Quiet Riot, there's whomever, and that kind of stuff. So, yeah. But no, it's fun. If you have the inclination and you want to spend the money, I think it's worth it. I think they give you, I think they include the beverage package too. So a lot of people get wasted. Yeah. What do you think? I'll talk about it. She didn't say feels threatened. She said she feels unsafe, and I mentioned that. I did mention the delineation between it. The quote, get the quote here. Get the exact quote, hang on. There it is. I went outside 10 times last year. That is the level of threat. Not how threatened I feel. She did say level of feeling unsafe. And I did say you can be safe and still feel unsafe. But she's also said that is the level of power. Power. Meaning power used against her. Meaning not in her head. Threat. Power. Now, go ahead. Anything? Yeah, I don't think so. Human League did perform. They did perform. They were great. They have a whole multimedia event that they do. Big screen and all kinds of different images. And, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I know. A lot of people probably heard Janel Grant went outside 10 times. Wow. Why so much? Exactly. Yeah. I also said there's good people there that had nothing to do with it. I didn't paint with a broad brush. So, someone mentioned Flock of Seagulls. He was there our first cruise. He's fine. It wasn't great, but he was fine. Paul Young was there. His voice is not what it was, but his story about his wife getting cancer before she passed. He basically broke him. So he's been working and stuff. So yeah. Look, if someone could tell me how to get a check for Tony Khan, I'd be happy to do it. I'll sell out in a second. I don't know what influence I offer Tony Khan. So the 21 people listening, what would he give me? Here, Jim, here's an Applebee's gift card. Seriously. That's what I would say to people. Me? Why would he? He doesn't need me. That's so stupid. So I'm just like, anyway. When people talk about Dave and, check from whomever, I'm just like, do you realize that for years, particularly in the 80s, not with this new level of pay and in this era, that's completely different. But like the 80s, early 90s and things, a lot of wrestlers resented Dave because he made more than them. So, yeah, exactly. It's the real comptroller. It's the real comptroller. So, anyway, I don't know. What evs? Captain, whatever his name is. Yeah, I know. Like, what is he going to offer me? What? I mean, seriously. So silly. Dumb. But whatever. What else? I don't know. Those people, I read their stuff and I'm just like, hey, look, you want to not like me or server or whatever? That's fine. But, at least get things straight. Oh my God. It's the new thing. Cody telling Ray that he's bigger than Santo. I was just like, if all these people who've seen Ray for 35 years and I don't know, and they thought, well, he's worldwide, so he's bigger than Santo. I'm like, no, he's not. But people only know what they do, so oh well. Yeah, I thought that's very classy. And I don't think Tony Schiavone gets enough credit for how good he is at those moments where you need that, that real touch, that soft touch, be sensitive and sincere and all that. So it's good. Exactly, pretty much. I don't even know. I wonder if Brian's back from his cruise. No, he went on a cruise. So, what's funny about the 80s cruise is right now, that same ship, same company, puts on a Star Trek cruise. And so the ship, it's a ship, not a boat. Ship pulls in when they're done with this Star Trek cruise. And what they've done is like the bar, they put a sign over the bar that says, wharf bar, whatever, something Star Trek related. And underneath that is another sign that says like cheers or for the 80s cruise. So they go around, take down all the Star Trek stuff, and right underneath is the 80s cruise stuff. So, yeah, it's very impressive. They're able to flip the ship so fast. It's very impressive. Tony's a good guy. Tony's a real good guy. Really good guy. We always joke about, the Charlotte Fan Fest and, when I did the Q&A and Conrad stole it and for his podcast. I'm kidding. Anyway, we always joke about that. I always joke that, I saved his career. I brought him back or I revived, whatever it is. Anyway, but yeah, so Tony got the podcast and the cushy job at AEW, and I'm here. Oh well. Oh, did they not do a good tribute to Sylphie's on Smackdown? I have not seen. So, oh well. I was impressed. AEW sold out, 3,000 fans for Sacramento. I was impressed. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, and people just don't know, like, Sting and Luger and even Flair when he was on the card with WCW and stuff. Sometimes 800 people. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, Tony's a very nice man. He's so nice. And that's cool. It's like, you want there to be nice people. And that's the thing. That's like I said. There's some individuals who are bad people who, whatever happened with Janel Grant, but they're also good people like, Shivani and others. So that's good. Is it? You like Smackdown? What do you like better about Smackdown? To me, it just feels like it's like, okay, let's get there. Come on, hurry up. Just, I don't know. She was. Okay. All right. Have you, anyway, you're just trolling. I don't even care. I don't even care. Anyway. Oh, I'm not surprised. You know, Tom loves stuff like that. I'm not surprised. I mean, that's great too that TNA is doing, you know, getting a little bit better as far as numbers on AMC. I know that, I guess, it hasn't done well as well as like the movies that were on there before, but, you know, there's benefits to having a live show with things you can do and sponsorships and different things. So, you know, hopefully they're happy. I hope they are. Cody feels more like professional wrestling. Yeah. And Raw feels like a Netflix cartoon show. And Netflix feels like there's just so much Netflix on Netflix. The commercials and everything. It just, I feel like, I want to use the word promised, but I feel like when it started, you know, there was talk of, you know, all the advantages you'd have on Netflix, all the flexibility. And it seems like that's not really a thing anymore. I mean, they can go longer and things, but it feels like also a lot of commercials and breaks and just inserts and comedians in the front row and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. Yeah, the crowd was hot in Sacramento. And I feel like, I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but I feel like Sacramento has not been the best market for them. But that was good. That was good. So, yeah. We shall see. Yeah. That was not good, was it? Yeah, that was not good. I mean, I feel like Becky, when she has some meat, you know, when she talks about, when she does the Trumpish stuff, you know, suing people and handing out awards, and, you know, when she does that kind of stuff, I feel like that's inspired. But anything else is not as inspired. And that was, you know, but I mean, I don't want to jump on her or anything. I mean, it should be better, but oh well. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Becky can do with AJ and how AJ can do. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, Dynamite was excellent. It was. Yeah, I mean, geez, they can do rewrites like that. I mean, that's very, very impressive. I mean, just how great is Swerve? My God, how great is Swerve? And by the way, with Booker T talking about Swerve's bad habits, I don't know. I feel like, and I don't know this is just my opinion, speculation. You know, the knock on Swerve in WWE when he was with Hit Row was that he was too into his music and his music career. So they just felt like maybe he's using us to climb the music ladder and then he's going to kind of bail. And maybe that's what Booker T means by bad habits. He's not focused enough on wrestling, but I mean, Booker T doesn't watch. So, yeah, Swerve he's been awesome. He's been awesome for a long time now. Yeah. No, dude, that guy's a star. I don't even look. God bless, you know, Trick and Javon and, you know, all of them, he's a different kind of character. But, you know, I take Swerve any day of the week. I take him over anybody, actually. Dude, he's the guy. He's great. And you meet him in person. Look, and here's the thing. You meet him in person, sweetest guy. Kind of a nerd. Sweet guy, though. Sweet guy. Did I just blow his cover? Kayfabe. Yes. Beast Mortos. So funny. So funny. Yeah, CMLL getting rid of the captain's rules. Maybe it's because Cody trademarked it. I don't think so, but yeah. Yeah, looks a little bigger, and doesn't seem to affect his mobility too much. Yeah. So, I'm telling you in person, he's very sweet. He's very nice. He's, no, he's, I mean, obviously the person you see, that's in there too. But, when you walk backstage, he's not doing that. So, right? It's a good question. That would be interesting. Yeah. We'll see about Trick. I mean, crowd loves him. I think he does need to get better in the ring, but I don't think people have noticed yet, obviously. But I mean, look, he looks great. People love the whoop that trick. What Randy Orton said, whoop that trick. He was wrestling Aleister Black. Sucking the life out of Aleister Black. Poor Aleister Black. Yeah. No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant what they did. Brilliant. No, it's been great. It's been great. It's been great. Yeah, I know. I think Obafemi's been good. He was fun with Kit Wilson last night. I feel like even though he's, young in his career, I feel like he knows who he is and what he's getting across. And he seems more real. So that's good. Like, what's his name? Braun Strowman. Big guy, great look, but it's like, he never really, it's always kind of an act, It's not real. I feel like Obafemi's real. I'm sorry you got a blizzard. Sorry. Yeah. No, he's been good. He's been good. I mean, dude, look, I don't know. I mean, people always talk about, push him. Give him WWE title now. And it's like, you can't just give the title to anybody. You got to trust him. And, that doesn't always work out, but that's the thing. You got to be able to try. And plus, I mean, look, he looks confident, big guy, all those guys. I'm sure that they're still kind of nervous. I mean, it's a big deal. Worldwide stage, living your dream, WWE. And it's like, let them have some time to kind of spread their wings, get a feel for everything. And, that'll come. That'll come. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some. I mean, they have moved up a lot of people very quickly. So we'll see what happens after WrestleMania, but it really feels like, I don't know, maybe there's some people. I mean, with TKO and their philosophies, their strategies. I just wonder if maybe some high price talent might be like going the, year or two as they're moving in younger talent. And look, I'm sure they're compensated well for their age and things like that. But obviously, if you haven't put the time in and everything, they're still building you, making you a star, and making it so you can draw money for the company and everybody. So we shall. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of people moving into slots. So I don't know. I'm kind of. I mean, look at UFC. Look at UFC. How many stars? UFC. Seriously. Early 2000s. Star. Now, 2, 3. It's like, I don't know. So yeah, I think they're going to do that, but we'll see. I could be wrong. We shall see. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? I have lots to talk about. I will too. Oh, that's very sweet. Who did that? That's very nice. Someone said I've been one of the best in regards to covering Janel Grant. Well, that's very nice of them to say. Very nice. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, what happened? I was getting on a plane and I had printed out, I mean, I downloaded the complaint. So I had a couple hours, just me and the complaint, reading it, going over it, rereading, and it's shocking. It was shocking and just appalling. I mean, that's the reason I've been covering this. Is because it affected me. You know, because I know the pattern, and heart goes out to the poor girl, poor young woman. Yeah. I'm glad that whatever that help program is, that support group she's with. I'm glad they're there, and they've been a good supporter for her. But I don't know. We shall. I don't know. I mean, the one thing she didn't say, and maybe this wasn't the place to say it, but what does she want? She wants justice. What would justice to her look like? What does she want? I mean, she claims and has said, she doesn't want to settle, and she's doing this for other reasons, but it could be bluffing. You never know. That could just be a legal strategy. You never know. So, I don't know. I wonder, I mean, does this just go on in perpetuity? Does it just fade away? Does they go, here's a lot of money. Now go. I don't know. I don't know what they do. They make a deal for, I don't know, something. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know what she wants. We shall see. Oh, God. It's very sad. Very, very sad. All right, kids. Well, yeah. I guess I gotta roll. I should probably do my work and edit the show and all that fun stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here. And I'll probably see you maybe on the 7th. And if not the 7th, the 14th. So, but not next week. I'm feeling too lazy to do a recorded show. So, sorry. Anyway. All right. I will talk to you guys later. And I'll probably post pictures of stuff on social. So, if you want to see some of that stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, no kidding, huh? I know Mystico's on fire. It's remarkable. What an incredible story. Come back and be Mystico again. Never say never in wrestling. All right, I will talk to you guys either the 7th or the 14th. Have a great weekend. Be safe.